the idea that there's something I can say that there's something like even like from the now that is basically dead Anglo-Saxon, Anglo-American culture, that like Hamiltonian tradition, the Cavaliers and all of that. That's all dead. We're not going back to that. On like the Anglo notion of law and order, that sort of stuff. That is dead. That's basically dead. And even like it's not like white Americans like still maintain that. That's not true at all. And as opposed to us Hispanics, that we still maintain this sort of like there's still a Hispanic ethos, even if it is diluted. There still is. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Todavía hay caballería, claro, claro.
Sí.
Yeah, to a certain
Man.
extent.
We still persecute corrupt people. It's like it's codified in law still. Like it's part of the.
Yeah, but also like these like people that want to LARP as like the defenders of the Anglo-Saxon race. It's like we're not going back to that. There's no possibility. There's no return. And I think people like like Jared Taylor relies a lot of that and on that, and a lot of American conservatives, especially like Paolo Cons, still believe in that. Still believe in the American Gothic, which is like Pat Buchanan, for example. And yeah, sure, there's something attractive if you see it from this point of view of the American Gothic, but just at the same time, it's not. First, it's not going back, and second, second is just like that was also like there was like the seeds of decadence were growing there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Man, all this Hispanic talk. Yeah, just a quick point. All this Hispanic talk on drugs, man. We're gonna get raided by the DA real soon.
No, no, but I think what Carlos is saying is correct, because they have nothing to go back to, because they're like it's like they're 15 minutes in the sun in world history has just been like error after error. So it's like if they were gonna like go back to something, it's like they would have to go back when they were irrelevant. It's like there's no going back to like, oh, we're going back to the glorious time when we were giving opium to the Chinese. Oh, we're going back to the glorious time when we were destabilizing South America. There's no going, like they have to go back to like, oh,
when we removed the commons from the peasants and forced them into cities and made their children work 16 more days.
It's over. It's over. Like it's
we're going back to King Arthur time.
Exactly. That's when that's where they have to go back.
They have to go really far back. They have to go back.
They have to go. Yeah, they have to go back more than 500 years.
Yeah.
Way more. And so
when they were kind of Catholic, right? Were they Catholic at that time?
Sure.
Yeah, they were Catholic. Yeah, they were Catholic. But it's over. So it's over.
Well, and I say us, even though 200 years ago is the dawn of liberalism in Hispanoamerica and the republics were born. I feel like that kind of operated at at a top level, but like the day to day, like the folk, for lack of a better word, has kind of maintained the essence of the time before that. And I think it's really changed post Vatican II, I would say. Like in the last 50 years is where we've begun to be disconnected from that living ethnos, from that living tradition. And I'm not saying that the ethnos is dead and that tradition is dead. I don't think so. But it's dying. We're deracinate with those roots. They're still alive. They're still green, but there's a lot of stuff, kind of covering them up from the sun. There's a lot of stuff destroying them. Does that make sense?
But like if we compare that to like the Anglos, right? Like the American, it's like
we're closer. I mean, for us, it's like we're gonna go back, like, and we're not going back, but I'm saying like we're gonna go back a generation, right? At most, right? It's basically like the pre-boomers. Like
yeah, before democracy, before liberal democracy.
But when my mom was a child, like she went to church and it was in Latin and it wasn't like a thing. That was just like how church was, right? Like the women wore veils walking to church on Sunday. Like that wasn't that long ago. My mom was born in 1954. So it wasn't that long ago. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we're a little bit it's not far from us. I get it. And I'm saying this hopefully that kind of inspires people to not let go, to grip on, right, a little bit tighter.
And we're still producing, like, and that's the thing, like we also have a project because we're still defending ourselves from 500 centuries of slander. So there's plenty of things like that we can defend, that we can clean up. With the Anglos, it's like they already got their best stuff, like their best propaganda out, and it's like it's over. You know, it's like it was debunked. You know, it's kind of like the opposite. It's like people only know the worst about the Hispanic world, and they already know the best about the Anglo world. And now the roles are switching, because now it's like, okay, so now let's see what's under, let's see what's under your bed, Anglo man.
I would argue, ironically, that like the descendants of the people that crafted the Black Legend propaganda, eventually, due to the tides that were changing with liberalism, getting more advanced into the way it is now, they used this exact same sort of shit to basically, deconstruct the entire Anglo-Saxon identity. And now this is where they're at, basically.
What do you mean?
So in terms of like, I'm talking about like the same sort of like intellectuals who would have created Black Legend propaganda, their intellectual progeny has now basically completely taken over universities and are just like destroying Anglo-Saxon society in a certain way.
Exactly.
In terms of like talking about colonialism in the past, like now they're creating Black legends that sometimes even exaggerate how bad like the British were even in the past.
Exactly. Yeah, the guns are pointed towards themselves now.